Hi there, this is Osamu Wakabayashi from Zen Ideas. I'm all about helping nonprofit organizations do more stuff online. Now, today I want to talk about web design. So this is one of my clients. I've been working for web design right now. And the problem for a lot of nonprofit is they don't have enough budget to hire somebody to do branding guidelines. So the having branding guidelines really useful, especially when I design the website, because I can follow the design guidelines, right? So, but most of the nonprofit they don't have it. But what I found it really useful is to use existing annual report because a lot of nonprofit organizations they spend enough money to design annual report. Most of the nonprofit their annual report is pretty well designed. So this is my client. So they have the report designed recently, and I found it's really interesting. They must hire some designer, and they have a good design elements. So they used existing logo and they incorporate with those design color too. So it looks like the blue has I would say like 70% of the design, and then that another 20% is yellow, and another 10% they use lime green. So it doesn't say it, but I think that's what I can see. And also they send me some the hex code color, which I can copy paste onto my web design too. So it looks like they have black and dark gray for the text, right? So I'm going to be using this, and here's the left side is my draft, right? So I'm going to explain to you how I made this, and then just copy and paste some design element. First, let's talk about the typeface. So the logo font is called the Benton San compressed. So looks like for the annual report, so they use the same typeface for headings, as you can see. And then the common font, so that's I think their body text, and also some subheading. They use Arial. Right now, so these font, I like most of web designer, we use Google font. And then the first step is you can actually Google search. You can search something like Google fonts similar to Benton Sun compressed. And then of course you can get, you get some answers here. So let's just take a quick peek here. So news cycle, that seems to be close to Benton Sands, and the Libra Franklin again, and the third one is Source Sam Pro. Okay, let's take a look. If you don't know about Google Fonts, let's just walk you through here. Google Fonts. Oh, sorry, I think. Okay. And then, so let's see. I'm going to just move this on this page here. So let's see, news cycle, first one. So let's take a look. Search font. Okay, so news cycle, and you can change weight to, and I'm gonna just type here. So like message from the chair and executive director. So I'm gonna just paste that. And then it seems to be I'm gonna increase that. So there's two style here. Yeah, it is kind of similar, actually, nice that. But however, they don't have the thicker, they have only two styles. So this is a good option, but let's move on to another one. So Libra Franklin. So let's take a look at it. Okay, so they seems to have lots of typeface here. And then, right, actually it is good. It is kind of similar to that. Okay, so this is a good option. And then let's see, another one is, actually I like that. Let's look at Source Sans Pro. Right, so let's take a peek. Oops. Okay, they have 12 styles. Let's take a look. All right, so that's also close. That's nice. Now, also like I found another font actually when I was Google search, and it's called Inter. So that's also, I find it's kind of closer to this style, as you can see here, right? So you can Google search, you can easily, and it probably took me about 10 minutes to find a few similar Google font to their existing typeface. In my case, I decided to use this Inter because I kind of like the boldness and very similar to their existing typeface that they used for annual report. The next one is color. So obviously they use existing a logo. They took those colors, and as I could see, I see lots of blues. It didn't really state that how many percent, like the portion they use blue, yellow, green, but I think the blue is about 80 or 70%, and then yellow is 20%, and the green is about 10% of that. I can see that. So now let's just give you some quick tip here. So I use WordPress and Elementor. So with Elementor, you can set the global colors here and the primary. So let's say I'm going to use this color. So I'm going to just type that number here. Right, so that's primary color. So let's say secondary color. So I'm going to probably use this yellow, which is, it's really helpful if you know exact color code. And I hope that most of nonprofit has this when they make some presentation materials or annual report. Usually they spend enough money. I think they should spend enough money when they hire to develop the annual report. At the same time, you can develop your branding guideline too. And then now, so you can actually add a color too here. So, and I'm gonna add here this green here. So you can use. Yeah, unfortunately, I cannot copy and paste. They send me a kind of image, so I have to type it in. The CD 660, right? So, and maybe you can, you can rename too. Right, something like that. You can keep adding those kind of the black for text and the dark gray for headings. So you can use add that. So as you can see, I added this kind of blue background color too because they have some blue background color somewhere here. Yeah, it's here. So I just added that. So that gives you an idea. All right, so I'm gonna just go through some design element that I used here. So as you can see, right here, so they use a lot of like the radius corner here. So I'm going to be using throughout that website. So this is obviously the part of their design element. So I use a radius corner instead of a sharp corner when I put the images, right? And they use those the divider line, yellow line. This is probably the same color of the logo, and I'm going to be using that as part of and the same here. So they use blue background and then the white text. So I don't want to use that throughout the pages. It gets too busy and difficult to read, but sometimes something like that, when I put numbers, I like to use this. Gives you some visual divider, so I don't mind using that. Now I'm not really a big fan of adding lots of colors. I like simple design with a white background. And also, I don't know if you can see on the screen, I use like on on the annual report side, you see slightly there's a light blue background and a white background. So I'm going to use the same technique here. It's difficult to see probably on the screen, right? And then the button element too. I use the same blue throughout the page, so you can see. And I use this rounded corner instead of a sharp square or rectangular shape. And I could have used that at same radius here, but I thought it's more interesting to use rounded kind of pill shape. So I'm going to check with my client. And then, yes, and sometimes I use the same color as that blue on the header too. So this is part of my design element here. And the secondary button, I use yellow color here, right? And I also created some, I can show that to you. Yeah, some this kind of banner thing I just created with Photoshop. And then this is something like this I can use as a background image here, right? And then, sorry, I don't know why this is yellow. This is the wrong color, so I should use kind of black. There's not enough contrast, so this is probably my mistake. Anyway, so this is some design element I kind of incorporated into from their annual report. And on top here too, so it looks like they use icon with green, so I'm going to use the same icon, green, right? So now that's the design element. Now, one thing I like to highlight that when you create web design, each design element, when you add the design element, it slows down your website. So for example, this yellow line, again, like I like using that because of their aligned to their branding, but I prefer not to use too many because this might slow down your website. And another thing is you see the shadow background here, and you can see, sure, you can use that on your annual report, but this is another design element, and you have those 6 doors has shadow on the behind. So again, this is, it takes more space on the web page. If this is my website, I like to remove that. So actually, probably let's remove it. 6 boxes, and then this is an icon box. So when you go to advanced and then I think border, and you see a box shadow, I think there's a little bit of light gray here. So I like to remove that here. So I'm gonna just copy and then paste style, paste style. All right, and I'm gonna hit update and refresh this page here. So the next one is some static page template here. So I created some header banner here. With sketches, I created this header banner here. I can show you in a minute. And I tried to experiment different things, but I think I like this design, so I can just show that to you. So here you can see about Volunteer Ottawa. So I'm going to be using this static kind of background image. And I found that I think they use something like that, kind of same technique here. And then also, yeah, here too. So I've got kind of circle, kind of 2 circles with logo. And then I tried to incorporate their design element. So, and a kind of similar idea to round the corner edge. And something like that too. So they have some 3 core missions. So I just created, 3 circles, kind of similar to this image here, right? And then the executive director and the chair here, and also some funder and a supporter. Logo is going to be here too. So this is just a mock-up. And once again, the footer yellow text is I gotta fix that. So I hope this video is a short video is useful to you. When you work for a nonprofit organization, lots of mid-sized nonprofit organization, they don't have enough budget to create a design guideline. But just to take a look at your existing annual report, their annual report is usually well designed, and if you don't have that, this is probably good place to spend money and your budget to design annual report. And then and when you hire the web designer like me, we're gonna ask, do you have a brand guideline so that I can follow when I create web design? And then you can just say, here's the latest report we created, so you can use that. And then definitely, as a web designer, this is a good start. So I can use this, really helpful for web designer. So again, so budget is really very important for even like for profit too. And then if you have annual report, so that'd be great. So hopefully this helped, and I'll see you next time.